And speaking of slow, getting into the game was actually not very slow, as we are getting into this game right now with Sugar versus SNG. SNG opting to not start on Springman, which I'm honestly surprised by, opting to start on the Min Min, while Sugar, as I suspected, is going to go that clapback Lollipop. And now I do want
I
to say this is kind of a hot take. I don't know, this is kind of a hot take, but Lollipop with Biffler clapback kind of plays similarly to a clapback Cobra. I don't know if you necessarily agree with me on that though.
I can see where you're coming from. It follows the recipe. Light arm plus clapback. That's kind of all you really need for clapback Cobra. And her jump is strong enough. Like, you can see how she's kind of jumpy. It's not as strong as Kid Cobra's. She doesn't have the girth of him. But you can kind of make that Sun and Dance work out quite well. And I do want to mention, so SNG starting with Min Min. I do know that he's more confident with Min Min against Lollipop. And also in such a big defensive stage, Springman's probably going to struggle more, where Min Min at least has the Dragon Arm, a Megawatt, and then she can also do Ram pressure.
Yeah, for sure. I am kind of concerned with the specific arm combination that SNG is picking, because it's two very slow arms into a clapback, and Sugar is just like Sugar with her very aggressive playstyle is just keeping up that pressure before that grab comes up by SNG. And we do see SNG just keeping that full screen pressure with the Dragon Arm, does have Rush as a scapegoat to try to avoid any pressure that Sugar might be applying, but doesn't even need to use the Rush, as that very tiny megawatt just goes right into the torso of Sugar, and SNG is able to take that first round.
Yeah, very well played. He's made the wise call to switch away. I think he had that because he was playing around the fact that he could hide out in the pillars. And Sugar making a risky play there, trying to get in close. And while that is arguably the better idea, she does have Biffler and Clapback, which you probably want to play mid and not too close to make that work. So she got a little too close, and then all of a sudden Min Min's just doing jump stuff.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Right now we do see this situation is pretty even right now. Sugar does have SNG in the corner. SNG is relatively close to Rush, but Sugar just applying that pressure. And even if SNG does get that Rush, which might be or actually maybe not if Sugar's able to close it out properly, unfortunately it gets clipped by the Ram, and SNG is able to reap the rewards of that punish, able to get big damage off of that Rush, doing 305 damage. And Sugar is around 2 hits away, not 1 hit away actually. However, Sugar does have Rush, so SNG does have to be very careful here. Pops the Rush, SNG dodges it, tries to go for the punish, but doesn't get it. The clapback is just able to block any incoming damage from SNG, and Sugar is able to take that second round. Really well played on the side of Sugar right now. And also, one thing I want to mention, Sugar is one of the few active arms players in this game that plays motion. I don't know if you noticed, but if you saw the way that her arms were moving at the beginning, playing on a pro controller does not move your arms like that. Those are dual stick Joy-Cons that she is playing with right now. So big props to her. Big props to her for playing motion. Motion's fire.
No, that on top of like how she played with her Rush and waited it out, knowing that SNG wanted to go for the punish, wasn't going to go for the waited out with the shield, absolutely worked out in her favor. I'm really curious as to why SNG is going in with the Dragon instead of Ram, because it makes this a lot more risky of a play for him ultimately, because Dragon does not benefit from the Dragon Arm nearly as much as Ram would, contrary to how you believe those arms would function.
Yeah. If I had to take a guess, I would probably say it's to just have that permanently charged Dragon Arm just to apply that long range pressure. But if you're in a corner like this, it's very hard to zone, especially against a player who is as aggressive as Sugar is being right now. As Sugar gets the grab, didn't even let me like finish my thought. As Sugar just like, he's just not even steals, just takes that round and just says to SNG, "This is my round for the taking. You are not taking the first game from me."
So if we want to talk about motion controls right there, if anybody had a good eye, you could have seen that if SNG... So the big thing about motion control, you mentioned that a lot, is that motion controls has a very easy time getting that wide grab. And wide grab is really hard to do on a controller because you have to flick back and forth really quickly. And then there's a lot of... It's difficult enough that most players don't go for it. They just aim for a direction. And because of that, you saw SNG actually aimed to the left as a result, either from failing a wide grab or like try to read a movement. And he cleanly missed Sugar. If he didn't miss there, Sugar would have been out. But
Yeah,
because
for sure.
he missed, and you just watched his grab just fly across the field, he was perfectly open for Sugar to just go for a punishing grab. And when it's that close and you're a motion control user, you're not gonna miss.
Yeah, for sure. While it is widely considered that motion is the worst control scheme, it does have its unique advantages over controller, being, like you said, being able to wide grab. And don't get me wrong, regular controller can it does have the ability to wide grab, but on a regular controller it takes so much more like specific setup to do. But if you're playing motion, you don't need that specific setup. You can just like push your arms out to the side and just get a 200-foot wide grab, and you'll just be able to, for the most part, grab them for free. We have seen some like if I don't know if you guys are familiar with Askew, but he at the time was considered to be the best Min player. He played motion, believe it or not, and he was really insane. So
yeah, you push button, receive bacon.
Yep.
Speaking of bacon, we've got Springtron here coming in with the default very same loadout to Springman. Big difference is that rather than getting a 25% in rage, Springtron has a powered up state if you can hold the charge long enough that causes a disarm as well for any active arms that aren't yours. And if you can get that, you get a huge stat boost as well, but it's temporary and it's hard to do. And it's going to be really hard to do against a very aggressive Lollipop that is chasing you down and hounding you. But SNG is currently in the health lead.
I was gonna say, as you say that, the Rush is gonna do big damage. The Rush unfortunately did not do big damage, but Sugar does still have this corner. But SNG does have Rush try to close things out if he does choose to do so. Once again, though, doesn't even need the Rush over there, as he does secure the round with a fully charged toaster, with a trade that ends in his favor. And
did you see how that happened?
Yeah, I saw the arm kind of like retracted a little bit, but it just still hit Sugar, which was really silly.
She fell back into it.
Oh, actually?
She fell back into it.
Oh,
as
wow.
it finished it and was dropping down and about to start coming back, she fell into it.
Oh.
And that's what took her out.
That is very unfortunate on the side of Sugar right there. Right now we do see SNG is getting a bit more of a foothold. I do think this character switch is gonna serve to be beneficial for him, considering that Springtron, significantly better character defensively. Oh, he guessed that? Oh, he guessed that? I could have sworn the cutback was gonna hit him, just flailing around trying to just get that off, and is able to punish the rush attempts from Sugar. Really good stuff on the side of SMG right there.
Ooh, good grab right there. I'm surprised he was able to break out of the hot pocket as effectively there too. That's a nice toaster. SNG looking for one more hit to get the point, get the set, and now it is 1 apiece.
Yep, switching to Springtron was definitely a much better character choice for SNG. Simply because deflect, simply because Min just has better defensive capabilities. Or did I say that right? No, I didn't. Just simply because Springtron just has better defensive capabilities than Min does. Granted, both characters can struggle immensely on defense, especially against pressure-heavy characters or very aggressive players like Sugar. But SNG was just able to make that work, able to essentially have having like a brick wall defense.
He definitely had a strong
Sugar.
defense. A lot of that too was Sugar pushed really, really hard in that hot pocket, and I do understand that she doesn't have something like Actress Aura or Deflect to be able to take advantage of the situation. But she pushed really hard, and if you push, like, while the hot pocket is a scary place to be, and it makes it so you have very little room to breathe and work, there's still enough room that if you push too closely, they only have to see which direction has the room and go in that direction, and all of a sudden they're scot-free, and your camera's locked into a pocket then. And she got really punished for that.
Yes, and also speaking of Twintel, Sugar making the switch over to Twintel. I forgot that she plays this character. Sugar also, and very fitting that she's playing Twintel in Default Derby because she also plays defaults on Twintel as well, which is very interesting.
Default Twintel is not hard to learn. You just got to know how to punch with the Chilla and do ice chains. And perfect, done. You win. Of course, there is obviously more going on. It's not ABC 1, 2, 3, but she is definitely one of the more straightforward ones, and one of the few characters that are actually capable of doing ice chains, which are one of the scariest things to deal with, especially when you don't have as many options in defaults.
Yeah, for sure. This is also going to be a much more difficult matchup for SNG as I was mentioning earlier, Springtron just having like a more subpar defense. Twintel's one of those characters that could exploit Springtron's lackluster defense very well, but that doesn't even matter as SNG is able to take that first round very convincingly. We are going to see if Sugar's going to switch things up, and we are going to see the Parasol coming out from Sugar. This could be a good pick into SNG's set as he not only does have 2 straight arms, he also has the Tri-Bolt, which Parasol just straight up deletes. And on top of that, Parasol is also really good into gloves as well. So we are going to see if this is going to be a good counter pick on the side of Sugar.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's a good pick. I'm looking at how this is playing, and I don't think Twintel's a good pick for Sugar. She plays very aggressively, and that's great. Look how little time she's spending in an Actress Aura. She is not taking advantage of it. She's jumping it in the air. That is a very valuable resource for Twintel, and she is just spending it in neutral.
Yeah, for sure.
She is
could confirm.
Completely leaving herself open in so many opportunities. Like, yes, it's still working well. This is still Twintel. The Parasol is still really scary. It's still really good. But she's in the air. She can't do anything against the Tri-Bolt and Toaster there. She just eats free damage. It is such a huge mistake that so many players still do. There are cases where you can safely jump in the air in neutral, but it's something so many players don't realize is that you have a very limited amount of resources, and when you're in the air like that, you're just begging to get hit. You saw that. She had no shield option. The Actress Aura still takes time to get set up. You can't, even if you get the Actress Aura up there, your options, if it's too close to you, you can't just press block because you're in the air. Your option is to punch the other arm or die. And die she did.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, SNG was just like doing a really good job just